Hi then, guys. Good evening. This is my first actual live chat or live stream, if you would like to call it that. It's just me tonight, and it's just a live hangout thing with me. So feel free to ask any kind of questions. I'm very happy to answer whatever you have on your mind. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe, like the video. If you can share it, that would be amazing. Shoot some comments, and yeah, that is about it. So right now we are just waiting for people to start turning up. I didn't really advertise this one, so yeah, I guess it's going to take some time until it picks up. So I'm going to post into some Facebook groups, some WeChat groups, and other things as well. There you go. Just going to throw it up onto Facebook. Hopefully, people can open that one. And yeah, that is about it. So, like I said, this is my first live stream by myself. So, you know, ask me whatever you think you want to ask. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. I mean, obviously, I don't know everything. So if I don't know something, I will try to find the answer from someone else. But yeah, that's about it. So, I got myself a beer, a Harbin beer. So, once this picks up, hopefully, then I'll crack it open. Then we can definitely, get this live stream going. All right, we have another viewer. I don't know who you are. Say hi in the comment section. Then, we can start a little chat. Hopefully it's going to pick up very soon. So there you go. We have a couple more people. Awesome. Welcome to the live stream, guys. So this is actually my first live stream by myself. I usually do it with other China YouTubers like China Teacher Brand or Angelo or Michael from Expat Survival. Those guys are super nice as well. So, you know, um, we do live streams together most of the time. but today is just me. I want to dip my toes into live streaming just by myself. Obviously, like I said earlier, feel free to ask whatever questions you have. Very happy to answer them. So yeah. As for now, I've managed to get some barbecue again. I don't know if you guys watched the other live stream the other night on Friday night. I've ordered almost the exact same thing, so I'm gonna dig into this. Have a bit of barbecue before hopefully this thing picks up. So this thing is actually like really popular in China, like barbecue on stick, especially in the Northeast as well, where I am. I live in Jilin, as you can tell by the title of the live stream. So this is actually beef that I'm eating, and I have another one which is pork. And the beef one is a little spicy. I asked for a little spicy when I was buying it. I also got some tofu as well. This is sweet and sour tofu. So basically, I only have three things. Like I said, I have a beer as well. I'm actually going to crack this one open right now because, like I said, the beef is a bit spicy, and need to wash it down a little bit. So yeah, there you go. Chinese beer, Harbin. Not bad. Obviously, later on in the stream, I will try to read some news for you guys as well about China, what's going on here. Mostly Chinese news as well. So, I don't really want to read Western news because that's available for everyone. But Chinese news, it's something that you can't really see. So like I said, eating barbecue in China, what more do you need? By the looks of it, this virus thing is disappearing. It looks like it's only Beijing that has a problem. Jilin is fine, and the rest of the country is fine. So, hopefully Beijing can clear it as well. Then we can go back to normal. All right, there you go. First person. Hey, Angelo, how you doing, buddy? You okay? Have you finished work for today? This one is for you, Angelo. I'm eating barbecue again. Dongbei barbecue. It's awesome, man. I love it. You got tested at your school today. So how did you like the deep throating? I had to go through that thing 4 times. It's a nightmare, man. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But, you got to do what you got to do. So, yeah. There you go. Pop this up on the screen. Oh, there you go. So he said, there you go. I had to approve this one because deep throated is apparently blocked by YouTube. So Angela says he was deep throated by a chick. Was it any chance your old lady that deep throated you, or was it someone else? Are you in like a love triangle now, or just going out and being a sexpat? Oh, we also have Haley. Hi, Haley. How you doing? Have you heard about the Three Gorge Dams issue? Yes, I've heard about it. Personally, I'm not too up to date with it. I've heard what's going on. Apparently, it's going to be safe for this season, but if they have another like rainfall, like a rainy season like this one, then it's going to cause some problems next time. So apparently, this time it's safe. But if you have any other news about it, like any other sources that can back the opposite or what I just said, then feel free to shoot it in the stream. Then I'm very happy to read it out for you. The nurse stuck it in my mouth. Well, there you go. That's an experience. I mean, you actually had, a girl doing it. I always had guys sticking their things in my throat, and that wasn't very nice. So that's that. So yeah, like I said, I'm eating Dongbei barbecue, and I'm still on my first stick because I don't want to just eat on this live stream. I actually want to interact with you guys. Also, quick question to you guys because Angelo brought this one up, the testing thing. Any of you guys in the audience got tested recently, other than Angelo? Drop a comment in the live chat, and let everyone know if you've got deep throated recently. Thornwick TV, I'm awesome. Thank you so much. I'm very good. Thank you. We had a lockdown a couple of weeks ago, but now everything is lifted and everything is back to normal. Tomorrow, I'm going to drop a video in the evening. So that's going to be about, midday for you, midday in the UK. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. And, I'm going to show a few things about the city, how open it is now. And that's great. It's awesome. So life is, almost back to normal here, with a few exceptions, like cinemas are not open and a few other places. But, everything else seems very normal. Concerned about being deep throated? Yeah, I mean, the first time I had it, I didn't know what to expect, and I thought they're just gonna like do it on the top of your tongue, like the upper lips. But it turns out they like stick it like all the way down. Then they start like moving it around so they can get like a good sample, so they don't need to do it again. Which means you need to suffer a lot, but it is what it is. Like I said, I've done 4 tests myself and I didn't enjoy it. By the 4th one, I knew how to handle it. And the very good thing to do is actually to squeeze like your neck a little bit. Obviously, don't choke yourself, but like squeeze it a little bit so it goes a little numb. In my opinion, that's how I did it, and it kind of worked for me. So, if you get tested again in the future, try to do that. It might work for you. Only UK folk with symptoms get tested. Yeah, I've heard that from my parents, and it's very sad that people are neglected like this in the UK right now. And yeah, I mean, my parents said that at their workplace, people were going in when they were sick, like sneezing and coughing and all that sort of stuff. But so far, nothing bad happened to them. So, fingers crossed. Oh, I missed this one. It's compulsory here in Australia. Oh, that's good. I mean, it's good that it is compulsory. I've heard that they might want to do the same thing in Beijing to test every single person that they have in Beijing, like they did it in Wuhan. So that might be a good way to filter and get people out from like danger zones. Can't wait for James Bond. Yes, I know. I'm so gutted that we couldn't get it at the right time and we need to wait. But hopefully that's going to be a good film. I think we either do a nose or a cheek swab. Yeah. So I've witnessed that people would get it through their nose, and actually, I have a very good example here. So you can see like this stick, and about half of it is the length that they use to stick it up to your nose. So if I turn like sideways and do it this way, you can see how far this one can go up, and well, that's not fun. That's definitely not fun. Oh, it's not compulsory. Oh, sorry. That's my bad. Sorry. There you go. So it's not compulsory. There you go. It's not compulsory in Australia. Well, then it's not good. All right, then. There you go. 8 people watching. Thumbs up and everything. That's awesome. If you can, guys, share this stream, feel free to do it. I would really appreciate that. Obviously, smack that thumbs up button. Obviously, subscribe as well, because that helps me out tremendously. And this stream is kind of like on the road to 600 subscribers. I just smashed 500 about a day ago. And by the looks of it, the channel is growing nicely. And, I talked to other YouTubers as well, and they gave me some good advice about growing your channel and growing the audience and, getting more people to watch you. And by the looks of it, it works okay. I mean, I'm very happy to have, 8 people watching right now, considering that this is like my first live stream by myself. So, yeah. The owner of my company is convinced coronavirus doesn't exist. He spends 12 hours a day reading conspiracy theories. It's scary how many flat earthers don't get it. Yeah, I agree 100%. It is scary that, people still think that this is just a made up thing. Obviously, the media plays a very big part in this. And, I can understand why people are kind of losing hope in this whole thing. But on the other hand, you can see America, how many people died, and most of those people got tested. So it is proven that they died because of the coronavirus. And it is very scary to see results like that. More than 40,000 have died here. It's definitely not an Illuminati ran by Elon Musk and Bill Gates. The man is insane. Well, yeah, like I said, my parents are still in the UK, and they try to keep me updated about this, and it is definitely not fun. At the moment, we have a few pockets of community transmission in my state. Some officials believe it's due to non-English speaking migrants who don't understand the severity. See, that's the thing. Like in China, that was the thing for a few weeks to blame foreigners and immigrants coming back. So like English teachers and business owners, and that was the thing here. So blame it on the foreigners, and you saw what happened in Guangzhou, for example, with the black immigrants and black students and all that, and that was very sad in my opinion. So I think each and every country should try to sort their own people out first, instead of throwing blame on their immigrants, if you could say that, people that come into the country like tourists. So yeah, that's just my opinion about it. Or don't want to give up their cultural habits, i.e. hugging or kissing as greetings. In England, hugging and kissing as a greeting is not really a thing. In Hungary, it's it's between family members. It's something that is very common, but even Hungarians know that right now it's not the time to do those greetings, and they can understand it. Any other cultures that do hugging and kissing as a greeting, I'm not so sure. I mean, in Eastern Europe, it is popular to, hug the person that you're meeting if you're close enough. I mean, you're not going to hug a random person off the street. But I know that in like Romania, Slovakia, and all of these like Eastern European countries, it is kind of popular to hug someone if you meet them. If you're hearing some sort of a background noise, that's just my wife who came back. She went swimming, and I think she just came back. So if you heard the door slamming, that was probably her. Also, I'm eating sweet and sour tofu. It's grilled. It's amazing. It's one of the best things that you can get in China, like grilled stuff, barbecued stuff. It's amazing. I love it so much. It's like my absolute favorite in China, eating like grilled and barbecued stuff. So another one. So these suburbs have large Muslim communities. I'm not so sure if Muslim people would hug that much. Enlighten me. I'm not really into Muslim culture. I mean, I respect it. I respect other people's culture, but I don't really follow it in that sense to know what's the norm for them. I mean, I know that they don't eat certain things, and certain things are not allowed for them, but I don't really follow them that much. All right, then. By the looks of it, we have 9 or 10 people watching this stream, which is awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Obviously, if you can, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And on this side, I think, this side. Let me have a look on StreamYard. Yeah, this side. If you have WeChat, feel free to support the channel. I would really appreciate it. Loads of people support the channel, and they supported the channel recently, and they send their donations. And it's kind of controversial right now with the YouTube community, especially the Chinese, China YouTuber community, to ask for money. Personally, I don't see any problems with it as long as you do it nicely, instead of saying give me all your money. I can just kind of reference to it, like, if you like the show, feel free to support the channel, feel free to donate on PayPal or whatever. So yeah. All right, let's have a look at the few other questions. Hi, Kenneth. How you doing, mate? What is your take on the celebration of the Liverpool fans after the victory in the EPL? Well, I need to tell you right off the bat, I'm a Man United supporter, so Red Devils all the way, the real Red Devils. I mean, it's good for Liverpool. I mean, they really deserve this championship. I mean, they worked very hard for it, and they've been working very hard with Klopp for the past, 3-4 years, and they really, really deserve it. What the fans are doing, I'm not so sure. Are they rioting, or are they celebrating recklessly? Is that what you are referring to? In the meantime, while Kenneth is going to answer that one, I'm going to have another barbecue thing. All right. In the meantime, let me pull up another one. Yeah, I never got into the barbecue in Xi'an. It's like, would you like some meat with your chili powder? I mean, okay, I can kind of agree with you. This is not the biggest skewer that you can buy, but if you look at the tofu, for example, that's fairly that's a fairly good size in my opinion. So yeah, but it's just my personal favorite. If you like something else, if you like Peking duck, or if you like gobaro, like Angelo ordered the other day, or if you like seafood in China, there's always an option for you. So China has a very diverse cuisine, if you'd like to call it that. You're celebrating recklessly. here's the thing. I grew up watching films that would show like reckless supporters. So we're talking like Green Street. That's a very famous film about supporters, like football supporters. Recklessly celebrating recklessly, that's something that I cannot support at all. And even if my fans are doing it, even Man United fans are doing it, I cannot get behind that one. And I don't have any respect for those people, because that's not why we are watching the game. That's not why we are supporting a club. So obviously, I cannot agree with reckless celebrations, breaking things and breaking into things and rioting and causing harm to other people. That is something that I cannot agree with. So Thornwick said, I've lived in Muslim areas. The men shake hands a lot at every turn. My personal observation. Where I lived in Banbury, which is not far from Oxford, and it's very close to Birmingham actually. And Birmingham is like I think it's almost like the center of the Muslim community in England, or at least one of the centers of the Muslim community. And what you said, like shaking hands at every turn, possibly. I mean, I have a few Muslim friends, but like I said, I don't really observe their culture that much. I only care about their personalities. So for me, it doesn't matter what's your skin color, what's your religion. It's all the same for me. So that's just my take on it. No masks and no social distancing. Well, again, that's a big problem. And I've talked about this in my other videos on my channel, that sometimes I don't really understand what's going on in England, because China is still like under a semi-lockdown, and they are still like trying to keep people in at some parts of the country. But by the looks of it, in England, everything is fine now, even though they had 5 times more deaths than China. So that's not only reckless from the supporters, that is reckless from the government. But then I don't want to turn this live stream into a government bashing live stream. Obviously, people are responsible for their own actions as well, and those supporters are definitely responsible for their own actions. It's worrying when people gather en masse. I understand the BLM rally, etc., but there's no need to jump to Bournemouth and bath in COVID juice. Absolutely. I mean, I understand that it's summertime and people want to go out and, they want to have a nice time, especially in England, where summer only comes once a year, and it's usually like a mid-July day. But sometimes you just need to take a step back, evaluate things, and go from there. And it is very disappointing to see that everything is reopening so fast. And I think once England gets a second wave, it's going to be more serious than the first one was. I really hope I'm not going to be right about this, but by the looks of it and what experts are saying outside of England about the country, it looks like that that's going to be the case. Skin color and ethnicity has no weight with me either. I'm just a massive people watcher. Exactly. Judging someone by their skin color or what religion they believe in is not acceptable for me. For me, everyone starts on the same level. It's your actions that define who you are for me. So if you do something bad for me, in my eyes, you're not gonna be a great person. Just because you have the same religion as me, that makes no difference for me. You can still do bad by me, and that's how I am going to judge you. And then guys, Harbin beer, like I said, Harbin is actually not too far from Jilin. It's only a couple of hours drive away. It's an amazing city. So if you ever come to China and you visited like Beijing, Shanghai, and all of these like tourist traps, definitely go to Harbin. It's one of the best places in China that you can go to if you like culture that has been influenced by Russian like architects, for example. I know we're down to 7 people watching the live stream right now. Like I said, guys, if you like the live stream, push that like button, share. If you are not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you feel like that this is the best stream that you've ever watched, you can support the channel here with a WeChat code, or you can throw some money at me on PayPal. It's not necessary. It's just greatly appreciated. Oh, there you go. We have Jack Black in the chats. How you doing, mate? Thank you for the like, and thank you for advertising the channel. Really appreciate that. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, if you just joined the live stream, so this is my first live stream by myself. Probably gonna go on for another like 30 minutes or so. Later on, I have a podcast to attend to. And other live streamers and other China YouTubers are gonna jump on, and they're gonna stream as well. So make sure you check out them as well. Yeah. There you go. So that's Jack Black. It just popped up on my StreamYard. Just gave you a like. Please sub. Me too. How does WeChat code work? So in the UK, it's not very popular. I've used it a couple of times in like London and Oxford. In Oxford, I used it in a Chinese restaurant, and the way it works is it's an app on your phone. So what you need to do is it has like a scan function, so you can scan stuff with it, a QR code, for example. So if I hide your comments and if I scan my own code, it's going to come up like this. I don't know how visible that is, but it says like support the channel. Thank you. And you can choose how much you want to donate to the channel. So you can start from like 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, 200, but you can also enter whatever amount you want. Obviously, you need to have a Chinese bank card to have WeChat Pay enabled, or you need a foreign credit card, but only a few works. And my credit card from England works perfectly with WeChat. It's a MasterCard from Halifax, and that works just fine. But I know that other people they have problems doing WeChat Pay. Let's have a look. So Michael, expat survival, he just sent a message in our group, said on a flight back to Guangzhou, if it's still playing when I land, I will tune in. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to go on for much longer because, like I said, probably in the next half an hour, we're going to cut this stream unless it really, really picks up. All right, let's have a look at the other comments. Where is the South African guy? Which one? Winston or Jerry from This Is China? Yep, WeChat is very handy. I have a video about apps in China. So if you want to check it out after the live stream, feel free to do it. I'm talking about 5 apps that you must have in China. WeChat is one of them because of the pay function, the friends that you can add on it, how you can connect to people. And it's basically like a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, all of this put together. And that's what WeChat is. Next one. What are the bets on when China will open the borders to those with legal residence permits? So what the experts are saying is that most likely they will reopen the borders once all the big training schools are open again. Our training school that we have is probably going to open in November. We are still not sure. I mean, it really depends on the local government. But once the big training schools are open all around China, and basically we have 0 cases for a number of weeks, that's when they're going to reopen the borders. But obviously it's a big risk to take for China, especially with things that is going on outside China, like in America, England, for example, Europe. So who knows? It's it's a Russian roulette kind of thing. So yeah. This is China. Is it going to come on your show? I don't know. I mean, do you guys want me to drop a message to Jerry, see if he wants to come on to the show? I mean, I can definitely do that if you guys want Jerry to come on the show. Personally, I want to say this. I don't have a problem with Jerry. He's been, very nice to me, even though I had this beef with Guilao. But that's entirely between you guys what beef you have with Jerry. I'm actually an official weasel, apparently. See, that's the thing. Weasel for me is not that offensive. If you would call someone the C word, that has a U and other letters in it, that's entirely different. A weasel, I don't know. It depends on culture and where you come from. But for me personally, it's not that offensive. I mean, obviously, it's very disrespectful. It can be very disrespectful. But personally, I don't take too much offense in those things. My bet is 2021. That was another prediction by some people, and that's the one that I support, actually, that in 2021, probably after the Chinese New Year, that's when they're going to reopen things. So I'm guessing this is about Jerry. He has a permanent blind spot when it comes to politics, but at least he stands his ground. I'm not a fan of his, but I can respect that. Yeah, I mean, politics, that is something that I don't really like to talk about. I sometimes have to dip into those topics on my channel, but it's not the main reason why this channel exists. This is, life in China, snowboarding in China, and food in China, basically. That is what I'm thinking. October, November at the earliest, but after Spring Festival. Yeah, exactly what I just said. And yeah, I agree with that. That's probably it. My residence permit expires on July 15th for Beijing. I will move to a new job then in Jiangsu and will do the full semester online. Hope to be back in China for the spring semester. I think you can extend your visa once you're in China. I mean, that's what I do personally. I don't go out and get a new visa, then change it into a resident permit. I just, get a new one here. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, he is quite amusing with his parody videos. He did a few on Guilao, Nathan Rich, and the Barretts as well. So, personally, I don't really have any problems with anyone from the China YouTube community. So, if he feels like that he needs to do those videos, then, go ahead, do it. I mean, it is amusing. It is funny, but just don't get too personal on it. I mean, you can definitely call people out, but getting to a personal level and attacking people because of their personal lives, it's not that doesn't go down too well with people. And you can definitely see that on my channel as well, like when I made the video about Nathan Rich or Guilao, and you know, people don't like it. I mean, the haters, they come for like, you know, 5-10 minutes, they watch your video, they subscribe, but once you make like a good video where you like say good things about China or other people, they hit the unsubscribe button and that's it, they're gone. So that's just, you know, a quick buck for people, for YouTubers. And obviously I don't want to go down that road. I want to grow my audience like naturally. Don't rush, make sure as many people are safe as possible. Absolutely. AK, hello from Japan. Nice to see you, buddy. You haven't commented on my videos for a very long time. How you doing? Hope you're doing okay, man. Yeah, I think that's about the videos, the disrespecting videos, damn funny. I mean, some things are very funny about it. I'm not saying they are right. I'm just saying that they are funny. Agreed, no need to rush. Even though I am on the outside and want to get back in, it's no time for that now. It will be all the sweeter when things do open up again. Absolutely. I mean, right now, you know, I don't want to sound, you know, racist and discriminative, but right now it's still this agenda that foreigners are bringing the virus in. And, you know, if they reopen the borders right now, then that's going to be the agenda for the next like year, that foreigners are bringing the virus back in and they are reinfecting China. So obviously it's better to have, you know, 0 cases here, then people can come in slowly. I mean, I'm not saying they should, you know, open the borders wide open and everybody who wants to come into China, they can come in. Obviously, there needs to be like, you know, safety things like, you know, lock people in for 14 days in a quarantine, you know, get the tests done, get papers from outside as well, from the country that you're coming from, and all of those things. So, you know, I think China really needs to play this one like, you know, safe, and they should try to avoid, you know, a second or a third wave from foreign countries coming back in. Do you want to get on to the cartoon characters show? I think by the cartoon characters, you mean the show that is hosted by Guilao and Reportify Media. I tried to get onto that show. It didn't work out, mostly because of the video that I did about Kirk. Do I want to get on it in the future? Possibly. I mean, if I can, you know, make this thing disappear with Guilao, then I don't see any reasons why I shouldn't be on it. You know, my channel is growing nicely, and you know, it's a natural growth. So I don't, you know, do sub for sub and all of those things. Obviously, that's something that hurts your channel very badly, and you know, I advise against it. Yeah, organic growth is good. Stay away from politics. I try to. I really am trying to stay away from politics because it's not my thing, and I don't feel too comfortable talking about it. But you know, there are some things that I can't, you know, ignore. For example, the time when Daily Express was publishing an article saying that 100 million people got locked down in Jilin. I mean, that's obviously a lie. I mean, Jilin province, the whole province with Changchun City, Jilin City, and other cities around here, in total, they have 27 million people. So I don't know where 100 million came from. So these things I need to call. I need to call them out on bullshits like that, because that looks very bad from both sides. It looks very bad from their side, that they have these like journalists making up, you know, stories about China and other countries and other places, and yeah, I just can't, you know, ignore things like that. Pandering to a niche market, not so much. You know, personally, you know, I wouldn't say my channel is very like niche based. I have like 3 things that I really like to talk about. Number 1 is actually snowboarding. That is my absolute favorite. I love snowboarding so much that I can definitely talk about that like all day, every day. and I follow all the sports events regarding snowboarding. I wouldn't say I'm a very experienced snowboarder, but I did my homework, so I know a lot about it. I know what goes on in snowboarding, and I like to think that I'm a good teacher as well. I was teaching snowboarding last year, not this season, the one before, in 19 and 20. No, sorry, not 19 and 20, 18 and 19. So 2018 and 2019, I was teaching snowboarding to kids, and I've loved it. Kids loved me, and I was planning to go to Japan for the 19 and 20 season in January, but obviously the CV decided that it's probably not the time to go. Because as a viewer, I don't want to see British guys who live in China talking about US politics. Doesn't make sense. I can somehow agree with that it shouldn't be the main topic all the time, talking about US politics. But then you can definitely see that US politics are very easy to rip on. I'm not a fan of the Barretts. Their views do not match the majority of Brits. I guess. But then, do you want to be different from people? If you want to be different from people, you might have a different opinion and different views about things. All Chinese nationals are welcome to the UK and are respected. See, that's the thing. Like, majority of Brits, they are very welcoming, but there is a small minority that are very racist and very discriminative. And I've experienced it with my wife. Luckily, she didn't hear any of it, but I've heard, what other people said, and it wasn't nice. And because I was on a holiday and I don't want it to end up at the police station, I decided I'm just going to let it go and just ignore them completely. But like I said, it's just a small minority. So, yeah. You don't find politics, politics find you. Kind of true. I mean, it's mostly the media. So you open up, any news website, first thing, the most important article of the day is connected to politics. And that's with every single news website and every single news outlet. Even if you watch the news in China, or if you watch the news in foreign countries like BBC, ITV, Fox, CNN, all of these channels, the first thing that they talk about is always politics. So you can't avoid it. Jerry made a video about the squabble between China and Australia. I wasn't impressed. Stick to your own country, pal. I don't get involved in other countries that much, especially Australia, because I know literally nothing about Australia. I mean, I only know kangaroos, hot weather, barbecue. That's it. I mean, it sounds very closed-minded, but, I don't want to get myself involved in something that I don't know anything about. Reacting to politics is fine when you are living your life in the reality. Yes, that is true. And, that's why I like to talk about Chinese things and some things that are actually related to Chinese politics, because I live in it. And, I can give a very good perspective on things, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that's the truth. And obviously the media is a tricky beast on both sides, both the Chinese media and, for example, the British media. I mean, they have their own agendas. So, like I said, you can't really trust anyone when it comes to news in the media. What do you know about the Three Gorges and the floods? I've addressed this one earlier. Personally, I've heard that this season is going to be fine. It's not going to collapse and people are going to be safe. But if they have another season like this one with heavy rainfall, then it's going to be a big problem. Politics can make for some fine comedy until it makes me sad when it's drama. Hello, Uncle Foreigner, the MVPs of the China YouTuber community. If you guys are not familiar with Hello Uncle Foreigner and their channel, so it's a couple, it's Peter and Emily doing an amazing channel. It's a very hip channel. It's so different from the usual China YouTubers. So if you are not subscribed to them, go over to their channel, subscribe to them, leave a like, leave a comment for them, because those guys are amazing and I love their channel. That's the #1 YouTube channel that I go to when I want to watch anything China related. Barrett makes it sound like the whole of the UK has a siege mentality. Nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, so I have to disagree on that one. Majority, in my opinion, people that I know, majority of the people are very protective and all about the British heritage and we are British. So they are also, I wouldn't say like nationalists, but they are proud of their country and their history. So obviously they don't really want the future to be much different. Nothing is politics if you state the facts unless you think them as politics. That's an interesting take on it. But then, it's very hard to get facts when, for example, the Daily Express example that I said, I was presenting facts, they were presenting bullshit. Thanks. You're doing a nice stream right now. Absolutely. I mean, what can I say? You guys are doing an amazing job. And, the other YouTuber that does, similar kind of videos is Jamaica Funk. His nickname is G Wiz. His real name is Gene, if I remember correctly. He is also on a similar kind of vibe as Hello Uncle Foreigner. So he is also really good, and I really like his channel as well. Stiff upper lip, tut tut, mustn't grumble. I mean, it's just the way that I talk. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to dip into another sweet and sour tofu. If you guys just join me, I have barbecue again, like loads of barbecue here. I went outside to get it. I have a beer as well. So yeah, it looks like this stream is going okay. So how about we carry on for another, I don't know, 25 minutes, 20 minutes, instead of cutting it at 1 hour. I'm gonna drop a message to Jerry. This is China Jerry. See if he wants to jump on for a little bit. But I want to remind you guys, even though if he comes in, don't bash him. Everybody is welcome here. Obviously, different opinions are more than welcome, but calling people names and all that sort of stuff, that's something that I can't really agree with. So let's drop a message to Jerry. Right, I just dropped a message to Jerry, asked him if he fancies coming on to the chat. Jamaica Funk rules. He does. Nice shout out to Jamaica Funk. Nice one. Yeah, I like his channel. Like, if I like someone, I'm not gonna, beat around the bush. I'm just gonna say, I really like their channel and I really like their videos. I don't think there's anything wrong about that. And, so many big YouTubers with over 10, 20, 50, 60,000 subscribers, they're so afraid to say another channel's name because they think their subscribers are just gonna pack up and they're just gonna go. But I don't think that's the truth. Like, why do you need to unsubscribe from my channel and go over to someone else's. You can stay subscribed on my channel, go over to theirs and subscribe to them as well. That's how it works. Very good artist and nice chap. Absolutely. I talked to him yesterday. I added him on WeChat, and he was kind enough to accept my friend request. And we talked for a little bit, and we talked about things. And he is definitely a very nice chap. He doesn't get involved in politics, which is a good thing. So he keeps it funky. That's why his name is Jamaica Funk, maybe. Yeah, that's something that I don't do. My father suggested to do something like that, and I was like, I don't want to go down that road. Like, I want to produce content that people can rewatch and they can enjoy it. I mean, me just sitting here, like, eating this, you're gonna watch it, you might enjoy it for the minute, but you're not gonna come back to my channel to see it again, do you? So that's that. China teacher brand, also very good. Yes, Fernando is amazing, and he is on the way to the moon right now. Let me check his channel, but I think he reached 8,000 subscribers already. Let's have a look. Yep, over 8,000 subscribers. Well done, Fernando. Cheers. All right, let's have a look at the other comments. I wasn't making fun of the way you talk. I was making fun of the stereotype of the traditional proper Englishman. Do you mean like the Cockney accent, like from London? Is that what you mean? I mean, that's something that I can't really replicate. I lived near Oxford, and our accent is very neutral in Oxford and around Oxfordshire. So yeah. Testify, maybe. I've mentioned you in a video of mine. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's great. I mean, obviously, I appreciate every single one of you that are still watching and, hit that like button and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. It really helps me out. And, right now doing YouTube is just a hobby for me. And, I kind of like it. I mean, obviously, the hate comments and all that, that's a bit disappointing, and it's hard to deal with it sometimes, but I guess it's just part of the game. BZ, how you doing, pal? I don't like either pro China or China haters video. Just present facts about China. Of course, you can present your honest opinions sometimes. Don't be afraid, pro or con China. Exactly. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why I have so many haters coming to my channel sometimes, because I show both sides. For example, the university video, the first part, that was a very long one actually. I showed these students are very unfortunate to be locked in, and I had a lot of hate for that one. But then I did my other video where I showed everyone that the situation is improving and people were still hating on it. So it's very hard to satisfy both crowds. And being neutral, it also means that you're on both sides at the same time. And for some people that doesn't play. That's not an option. Can we get an amen? Amen. Nice chap. I chat to him on WeChat from time to time. I think you're talking about G-Wiz. Yeah, he is a super cool dude. There you go. China teacher brand, 8K. Well done, mate. Angelo is great too. Yeah, absolutely. I love Angelo's channel. He is awesome, and he is a very nice, down-to-earth guy. I mean, he is so, like, what's the word? Like, honest, I would say. Like, he doesn't like beat around the bush. So if he wants something, he will tell you, and that is it. And he's like a no drama person. There's no drama with Angelo at all. On his way to the moon, China teacher brand is the Neil Armstrong of the China YouTube stratosphere. Absolutely. I mean, his channel just skyrocketed. We gave him, some advice. Like, personally, I've told him to start using TubeBuddy, which is a handy tool for YouTubers. And, because he wasn't tagging his videos very well in the past, I told him, like, put more tags in it so people, when they type in and search on YouTube, they can discover you a lot faster. And that way, like, people are gonna like find you and they're gonna subscribe to you and they're gonna watch like all of your videos. Jamaica Funk is in the house. How you doing, Gene? I hope you're doing okay. Yesterday, our conversation kind of, ended without saying goodbye to each other, but I hope you're doing okay, man. Who is Buzz Aldrin then? I don't know. Nobody really remembers him. The astronaut in Toy Story? Yeah. I love Toy Story, by the way. Even though, I'm close to 30 now, I still love Toy Story. Did we summon G-Wiz? I think we did. I mean, you talk about someone on a live stream or a video, that person appears like magically. TubeBuddy is essential, and vidIQ as well. Absolutely, I use both of them. No goodbyes necessary. I mean, yeah, we didn't really finish our conversation, and it's like an everlasting conversation, in my opinion. So we don't really need to say like goodbye. Dinner time at Uncle Foreigner's. Cheers. Yeah, I still have loads of barbecue in front of me, and I've only had like 3 of them because you guys are just throwing the questions at me, and I'm very, very, very happy that this live stream picked up so nicely, and we have like 13, 14, 15 people watching right now. It's great, and I appreciate every single one of you watching this stream right now. Eat slowly. Hello, Uncle Foreigner. You should. A stomachache is a very common thing in China if you eat fast. China Teacher Brand should do more videos about the nuts and bolts of teaching in China, similar to Ben Teaches English Overseas. I think what happened with Fernando is from the teaching videos, he moved on to like general life in China and explaining things. And, at the beginning, he was getting like, really crap numbers with the views and the comments and everything. But now it's really picked up because like he's been here for a very long time and his perspective is very like neutral. And sometimes it's not just opinion based, sometimes it's fact based as well. Hello from the neighbor province. Yes, awesome. Seems you, Angelo, and me are living in a triangle. That's great. Are you a YouTuber as well? Pix? It's the internet. Conversations never end. They are continuous streams. Absolutely. I mean, the only people that I really say goodbye to are my parents on Skype. Like everyone else on WeChat, I don't say bye to them. Like when I talk to my wife and we finish talking, I don't really say bye to her, and I just put the phone down. It might seem rude, but that's what I do personally. Lunchtime in England, but missing Sichuan. That's the thing. I can't really eat Sichuan food. I love spicy food, but Sichuan is just too spicy for me. Like the spicy hot pot, for example, I can't do that. Like it's gonna hurt like as it goes in and as it comes out as well. So I can't really do that. 2 years of that got me very few results. So I think you're referring to the English teaching videos, and yeah, that is a tricky beast to tackle because it's a very like niche based thing to do, just like teaching. So doing something a bit wider, like general life in China and explaining things, is probably gonna go out to a wider audience. Matthew, how you doing? Hello, mate. Nice to see you getting good views. Yes, I'm super happy about it. And again, I just want to thank every single one of you for joining me for this live stream. Like I said, this is my first live stream. by myself, and I am so happy that you guys are here and watching it, and supporting me this way. It's really great, and hopefully I can do these live streams a couple of times a week. I know that we have the China chats with Fernando, Angelo, Michael, and we are planning to have other guests on as well, where we discuss like actual topics. So it's not just a free chat like today's. As long as it isn't the golden triangle, well, you never know. I mean, I don't judge people. Bermuda Triangle, okay. Interesting that I see more folks from the north recently. Yeah, I'm not so sure why we have more people from the north recently. Not sure. Now you guys are just going into the triangles, and I feel disconnected from that one. Anyway, while you guys are discussing your triangles, while you're discussing your triangles, I just want to remind you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you can, support here with the WeChat QR code or with PayPal or Patreon or whatever. If you want to support, feel free to do it. I'm not, begging you to do it. But if you like the stream and if you want to see more, feel free. And Thornwick. Zack, I'm going to have to go in a minute. I've got 3 kids to feed and some editing to do. You will get to 1,000 subs soon. Keep up the good work, and I'll speak to you soon. Please subscribe. Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. Obviously, kids are more important than just a silly YouTube channel, so enjoy the lunch. Yeah, it's lunchtime in England, so yeah. And hopefully I can get to 1K subs. I think I gained like 2 or 3 subs from this live stream, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Let's have a look. Okay, someone got another triangle. Illuminati. That's kind of a triangle, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Disconnected? Triangles don't disconnect. If you take one side away, it's disconnected. Then it's just, a duck's, like, beak. All right, so like I said, I'm going to dig into this amazing tofu. Would you have your kids as Chinese or British? Good question. And, I don't think many people can answer this question honestly. And I'm not so sure. I mean, I love China. I love my life here. But because I work in education, private education, I'm not so sure about the educational part. I think I would have my child spend the first 8 to 10 years in England and study there, then come back to China, do school here for a few years, then probably go back to England or somewhere in Europe to do university there. So that way they can learn the language. By day, I mean, our plan is to have more than one child. So yeah, I think it's going to be a British national if we have a child. Obviously, in China, you're not allowed to have 2 nationalities. If you're Chinese and you get another one, you need to give up your Chinese one, so you can't be like a dual national. I played triangle in a band once, but I was better at the cowbell. Okay. Hi, any recommendations for headsets and webcams for live streams? So if you like my setup, this is a very simple one. This headset, I actually got it from the fake market for 25 RMB. So it's a no-name brand. It's some random Chinese writing on the side. For the camera, I am using my old Huawei P20 Pro phone. And if you look up here, sometime in the next minute or two, you're gonna see like a little like advert popping up about the webcam app that I'm using on my phone and on the computer to connect it. So if you want to start live streaming just like I did with a very cheap setup, then this is the way to go. Get a very cheap headset with an okay microphone. I think my sound is pretty good. The camera is also very good. The video quality, I'm very satisfied with it. So that's my recommendation. Don't go out and spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of RMB on a setup that you might like. Try to use something that you already have and go from there. Then you can see what needs to be improved and what is it that you like about your setup and what is it that you don't like about your setup. But that's just my personal opinion. So obviously, I'm no expert at live streaming. I can do videos. I know how to use a camera. I know how to edit. But live streaming is a different thing, in my opinion. Chinese mother, British father. Yeah, so that's our case, basically. So if we do go back, obviously our child is going to be British then. Some people don't agree with that, doing something like that. Personally, I don't really see a problem with it. It's your own life. You make your own decisions. You can decide what you want to do with your life and what's the best for you. So people judging someone because they go to America for childbirth, I think that's very low. Your headset and video quality is good. Thank you so much. Obviously, if you have any suggestions how I can improve it, or if it's good enough for you guys, then I just leave it like this until I can really upgrade the quality. But yeah, I personally love it, and like I said, it's a very cheap setup. It's an old smartphone and a 25 yuan headset. Zack, do you have WeChat? Yes, I do have WeChat. The one that you see down here is the QR code that you can use to donate. If you want my personal WeChat, I can put it down here for you. There you go. So that's my personal WeChat. If you want to add it, feel free. Obviously, write a little message, like who are you and why you are adding me, because I don't like to accept just random people. For example, on the street as well, if Chinese people come up to me and just talk to me and they want to ask for my WeChat, I just be like, sorry, no, like I don't know you, so I don't really want to add randomers. If people come here and they engage on my channel and they talk to me, then sure, you can have my WeChat. I'm very happy to talk to anyone off YouTube as well. Have you tried to travel recently? I think for us, we are really lucky as we can go quite freely out again. I am at the moment in Shenyang, traveled from Shenyang. In Europe, they still face home vacation. Yeah, I'm not so sure how traveling works right now. Personally, I was planning to go up to Harbin again, but my father-in-law's friend, who is a Jilin resident, so he's got like a Jilin ID card and everything, he basically got turned around at the gates that they have between Heilongjiang province and Jilin province, and they told them like, you need to go back. You can't go into Heilongjiang province. So I'm a bit scared to travel outside. Probably I'm gonna go to Changchun, which is about half an hour, 40 minutes on the bullet train, because that's still within the province. But other provinces, I'm not so sure if I want to experiment. That's all right, mate. No worries. Yeah, I learned my lesson. Random WeChats just end up in a ton of spam in the moment stream. Absolutely. I mean, I was very naive during my first year, and I actually had to create a new WeChat because random people would just add me, and when I check the moments and I want to see something interesting, like funny cat videos, for example, I can't see it because people are posting their fake shoes, the fake watches, the fake like Gucci bags, the fake Gucci belts, the fake Louis Vuitton slippers, for example, and it's quite annoying to scroll through those. We may have a travel bubble, including various safe countries. China not being one of them. Sorry. Personal opinions. I don't judge you if you have a different opinion. You are very welcome to express your own opinion. That's why we're all here. Sent you a request. Let's have a look. There you go, Matthew. There you go, mate. I accepted your request. Had to create two also. Spammed by recruiters. Yeah, I had that before. And these headhunters that you have in China trying to find English teachers, they are very pushy, and they get your WeChat and they message you like 2-3 times a day, like, oh, do you want a job here? Do you want a job here? Oh, send me your CV, send me an intro video, send me this, send me that, and they keep spamming you over and over and over again. And once they've had enough, they hand off your WeChat to someone else, and that person tries to add you and do the exact same thing. And they try to engage in legit conversations, but most of the time it just ends up like a spam fest. Yeah, exactly what I just explained. I think let's help the tourism industry a little bit. The Chinese are doing a good job for the containment, I think. Yes, absolutely. And, I like to voice this in my videos as well. I think China is doing a great job. But so many people will come out and say, oh, you're a CCP shill. You're just saying this because you're getting paid by the CCP. I mean, it's the truth. I can see it firsthand. Nobody is paying me. I walk outside. I can see what's going on the street. And that's not, me being a shill. That's just me seeing the reality and reporting it and making a video about it. Like, do you really think like all of this is like, North Korea, that they have like actors on the street just to act that everything is okay? So that's craziness. I would be glad to support the Chinese tourist industry once again in the future. Absolutely. I mean, tourism is a very big part of China, I think, even though it's a very like closed country with the visas and everything. So it's a bit hard to get in, but tourism is a very big part of China. As far as I could see it from the airport, they are very cautious. Yeah, they are. When we came back from England at the end of February, just before they locked the borders, we had to stay on the ground for at least an hour at the London airport, and they were checking the temperatures, and they were checking the papers, the passports, the visas, everything, like over and over and over again, at least 2 times before we managed to take off. And once we landed, they did the exact same thing. Like people in like big like hazmat suits, they boarded the plane, and they were checking temperatures, they were checking paperwork, and we actually had a little like scary moment for a little bit, because about 3 rows ahead of us there was a family of 3. So a mother, a father, and a son, and they were from Wuhan, and that was a bit scary because they came back from England as well, but they left Wuhan in like December. So that was their excuse why they were on the plane and going back to Wuhan. And not like coming out of Wuhan. So that was a little bit scary, but it turns out it was all fine. And I never had the coronavirus, and my wife never had it, so I think we are safe. Possibly, but my government doesn't want to include China in our travel bubble. Yeah, I mean that's the thing right now with so many countries that playing the blame game. It's the easiest target right now is China, even though they are doing probably the best job right now with containment and stopping this virus from spreading. But of course, they will find out a cluster in China. I guess my green health code might be yellow. Yeah, so we have these like health codes. So I think there's 3 colors. So there's red, yellow, and green. And obviously green means you're good to go. You can go wherever you want. Yellow means you've been to an area that's been infected in the past and you might have the virus. And the red one is like the worst, that it's quite possible that you have the virus. Perhaps travel for Australians will only be allowed to New Zealand and maybe the Pacific Islands. I'm not so sure. That's the thing. Like, I don't really follow what's going on in Australia. I mean, I follow some things about New Zealand in general, but again, that's because of snowboarding. So, snow season already started in New Zealand, I think. So we're talking like Codroina, for example. It started there. So I followed those places, but, general news about New Zealand, not so much. I will be back to live once the borders reopen. Me and my wife are back in the UK right now. So how's the situation there? I mean, feel free to, say what you think. What is it that they are doing well, and what is it that they should improve on? The blame game is lame, absolutely. I mean, it's just childish. Like, leaders of big countries, they are just playing this game. And, the blame game was trendy in primary school. And, do you want to compare, a government to a primary school with the blame game? It looks bad on both sides. Not the time is the apportion blame right now. The priority should be to beat the virus. Agreed. I'm not so sure what's going on with the vaccines. I haven't heard any news about them for the past 2 weeks now. Apparently, some vaccines, they went to human trials, but it's going to take another like 2-3 months before they can actually say that this is something that works. I think there's orange too, quite possibly. Personally, I don't have a health code, and I've explained this in a video before that for me, it's almost impossible to get a health code in Jilin. One, because we don't have many foreigners here, so the app doesn't really include us. And I know so many people are going to jump on this and say, oh, that's because China is racist. Not really. It's just we don't have a very big foreign population here. And, we are not that included in things. DC is orange. Matthew Moore, I agree with you. Let's have a look. The UK comes out of lockdown on July 4th, a bit soon, though, I think, personally. Yeah, I think that's very fast. And give it a couple of weeks, and I think you're going to see a very, very dirty second wave. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what my gut feeling tells me, that's what's going to happen, especially with all these like protests. Somebody mentioned the Liverpool supporters as well going on the street and not protesting but celebrating. People going on to the beach and all these things. So yeah, I'm not so sure that it's a really good idea. They will only open up to each other only if Europe allow the incoming of Chinese, so the Chinese will allow it to Europe and vice versa. I'm not so sure. China is very cautious with reopening things, and even if Europe says that you can come in as a Chinese person, Chinese citizen, China might turn around and say, you know what, we don't really want you here right now. I mean, clean up this mess of a virus, then you can come in. So, yeah. For me personally, I'm more concerned with how damaged our economy is because of the shutdowns. Our unemployment rate went up to 7%. That's big. Like 7% is a big number in unemployment. Economy is like that is something that I can definitely comment on and what's going on. So in China, there are a lot of like street sellers, and most of them they need like licenses and everything. Like it's not a very strict process to get them, but you still need it. And the government, the local government in Jilin, I don't really know what's going on in the rest of China, but in Jilin, they are encouraging people to go out on the street and start selling without like any licensing or anything like that, just so the economy can restart itself this way. Registering for that health code was a nightmare for me too. Absolutely. I've tried it several times and it doesn't work. Just no. It says no, you can't register. 500 500 million idiots going to the beach in Bournemouth doesn't help really. No, it doesn't. And like I said, it's that's gonna be the reason why the UK is gonna have a second wave, and the second wave is gonna be worse than the first one was. Just to take advantage of the sunny weather. Absolutely. I mean, I can understand. Like, I'm from England, and I understand that we get summer once a year at the end of July on like a Saturday if we are lucky. But you know what I mean. It's just silly to get sick just because you want to go to the beach. Then leaving 41 tons of rubbish on said beach isn't helpful either. I agree. I mean, polluting the waters and polluting the land that way, it's people are very unresponsible about things like that. And yeah, I still reckon China should have foreign ID cards like in the style of normal Chinese ID cards. That would make registering for everything easier. They do have those, but it's super hard to get. Like, it's almost impossible. Like, I don't think I will ever get one. Not because I'm a bad citizen with like a criminal record or I don't contribute to society. It's just the amount of people that get it is it's so little that I don't think I'm going to be included in that group. Zach, would you change your job now and go back to your country if someone would make you an offer and leave China in this situation right now? Depends. It really depends. So right now I'm doing online teaching, and that pays a really good money, pays the bills. Obviously, the school itself is a school, so it's always going to make money. I'm not going to leave a business behind and just work for someone else in the UK. It needs to be a really good offer. Like if they offer the same thing what I have in China right now, so business and money and everything like that, then maybe I'll think about it. But if I want to consider my other half, my wife, I think probably I should stay here, and this is the best place to be at right now. Excuse me. Because mostly they sadly don't accept passports for registrations, also for other services. Yeah, it's getting pretty strict. I remember that I was in a hotel about 3 years ago when I got to China, and they used my passport. And I went back to the exact same hotel, and I didn't pre-book it because I knew that this hotel is going to be fine for me. I went there and they turned me away. So things can change like pretty fast in China, and that's one example. So I went to the exact same hotel that gave me a room for about 2 weeks. I went there to get one night, and they were like, "No, foreigners are not allowed." Registration card. I think that's a little bit different. Oh, residence card. Okay, now I understand what you mean. Yeah. The training centers now need to be attached to a school. I think that is why this. I don't really understand this comment or question. Sorry, Matthew. Oh, Disney as in, oh, okay, the schools. Right. Okay, I understand what you mean now. Yeah, I've heard about them, but I never really considered them as an option. To be fair, I think I told this a few times on my channel and during a couple of live streams. The way I got into China was actually illegal. I mean, I got here with a business visa, and there was a bogus company that hired me, and they sent me to this like nursery basically where I had to like take care of babies and everything. So I just imagine me like taking care of babies. So like a 6 foot something guy with like tattoos on his arm and hair like this, like taking care of like 6-month-old babies. So I think there is a film about something similar with Vin Diesel or Dwayne Johnson. I'm not so sure. So yeah, I'm not a very good like person to work in a nursery, I think. I heard Disney is done. Well, it depends in what. I mean, films they are doing pretty okay. Schools not so much. Like that kind of like entertainment. I think that is done. Like schools and other things that's done. But films, I think they are still doing okay. Did you have to change diapers? No, thankfully, no. I mean, if someone would have asked me to change diapers, I would have been like, I'm out of here. I'm going. Bye bye. Money was pretty crap as well. Like I was making 7,000 a month, and I had to be there 8:30 till 5:30. So that was terrible. Free apartments and everything, but 7,000. That was crap money. Before leaving China, I worked for Sesame Street English. I did the runner. Oh yeah. So let me just explain what is a runner. So if you work for a school, most likely illegally, then a runner is basically during the night you pack up your stuff and you take the first flight to either another city where they're waiting for you to start a new job, or you're just flying back to your country like the same day. That is basically a runner. It's also known as a midnight run in China. And it's something similar to what I did with this nursery school. I mean, I kind of had enough after like 4 months. I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this. Like this is not English teaching. This is not what I signed up for. So I looked for a different school. I've ended up meeting my wife, and that's how I got involved in the business as well. So it's a happy ending. It's a cheerful, happy ending, I think. There you go, more Disney stuff. So Disney theme parks are their biggest income, closed since COVID, and films have been on hold since COVID too. So Disney is kind of hurting right now. Yeah, I think so. I've heard that, a few like Marvel films as well, they are on hold and they are not filming right now because of this. So yeah, I think every like industry is hurting right now because of this like outbreak. I was never illegal. I had a proper Z visa. I got it from EF, so English first, yeah, the year before. So yeah, back to the Sesame Street thing. So Sesame Street is actually a pretty okay school. Obviously, the name kind of gives it away. So they are using like Elmo, like what are they called? I can't have I can't remember the word, but they are using these puppets. Yeah, that's the word. So they are using these like Elmo puppets and the Cookie Monster puppets and all of these, and that's how they teach. So it's a fun, interactive kind of English teaching school. We have one in Jilin. I know the owners personally. She's a nice person. We talked about business stuff because we are kind of against each other. So yeah, we are doing the same business, but she seems nice. The school seems nice, and it's a modern thing. Like some English schools in China are very like run down, and some of them are in like shopping centers, so they don't have like an actual like school building that they are renting. They just rent a place in like a shopping mall. Marvel films being on hold isn't a bad thing. I don't know, man. I like Marvel films. I like Iron Man. I like the Hulk. I like Thor. I like every single character from Marvel films, and it sucks that this thing is on hold. I wonder when the cinemas will open again. Good question. I really want to go to the cinema. Sit down, get like a VIP like seat, because in China it's super cheap to get like a VIP seat, or go into like the VIP room where you can actually like lay down. And that's only like what, like 60 or 70 RMB for one person for like a VIP seat. And you can take all your snacks in, you can buy all the drinks outside, and you can take like like big like shopping bags with like snacks and drinks inside, and it's an amazing experience, especially if you watch something in like 3D with the glasses on. It's amazing. If you go to Sichuan, avoid Unfly Education. They are terrible. I mean, yeah, there are several websites saying that there are really bad schools, schools that hire illegally. They don't do anything for their teachers. They make them work overtime with no pay and all these things. So, if you want to come to China, obviously do your research and just go with a trusted school. Visa, that's the most important one. So get a visa, get a legit like Z visa, then you should be fine. After Endgame, Marvel doesn't need to make any more films, in my opinion. But Black Widow got a release date next month, I think. Is it next month? I thought it was next year, next month. Let me check up on that one. Black Widow. Huh, it is. The release date was supposed to be April 24, but yeah, I guess COVID had different plans for this film. And for English movies, mostly the cinema is empty. It's not just English movies; it's cinemas in general are very empty when it comes to films in other countries. And in China, it's still a thing though to go to the cinema, and I think it's great. Mostly because it's very cheap. Like a normal seat in a normal like cinema room, it's like 25, 30 RMB. That's peanuts basically. Avoid agencies at all costs. Certain agencies are really bad, and you should definitely do your research about them. But if I actually have an example. Shy Guy Travel, James, he went through an agency, and he said that they were very nice to him and they were very helpful, and he really enjoys his job, and he gets a nice salary and nice bonuses and everything. So that's the other example, I think. I was a sole viewer in Toy Story 4 one time. I mean, it does happen. Negotiate with the schools directly. Yeah, if you can, obviously get a contact for a teacher as well that works there. That's always a good sign. If you can talk to a teacher that is already there. Yeah, it works better if you can talk to the school directly. Perhaps my China days are over. That's what so many people think after they leave China. They're like, oh, I'm never going to go back. But a year later, they're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, I'm back in China. Agreed. I should cut out the middleman, go directly to the employer, get the direct hire. Yep, that can work in China. And sometimes you can negotiate a better deal for yourself as well. Not sure if I'll be able to get a work visa again. I mean, no offense, Haley, but you are not 150. You have education, you can get a legit working visa, so I don't see what's holding you back. Going to IMAX in China spoiled me. Absolutely. I feel spoiled as well. Like, it's so good. Like, everything is so modern, and they take like really good care of you for so little money that it's amazing. Like, if I want to have the same experience in England, I need to pay like, 30-40 pounds for an IMAX like VIP room for one person. So if I want to go with my wife and get drinks and everything that I need to buy inside, that's at least £100 for the two of us. And £100 is like what, 850 RMB? That's ridiculous. So, if I want to go to the cinema in China from 850 RMB, I can go at least 10 times into the IMAX VIP room. Yes, I know that feeling several times. Feels like you're in that place. Yep. I'll be going back. Absolutely. Come back to China. China is amazing. Don't believe what other people outside China are telling you. Listen to the people that are in China. They will tell you what's the truth. I miss Sichuan. I can understand why. IMAX is great. Agreed. All my family and friends are there. Got locked out, unfortunately. Counting down the days to the borders being reopened. Yeah, I mean, so many people are doing the same thing. I've heard that people in Hong Kong, they are in hotels, like foreigners, foreign teachers that work in that area. They are still in hotels, and they are just waiting for the border to reopen. So their schools are renting like hotel, like like entire floors where the teachers are staying. So once the borders are reopened, they're going to be the first ones back in. And that's something that nobody really reported about. And I've only found out from my friend who is in Hong Kong, and he is in the same situation, that he is waiting for the borders to reopen so he can come back in like the same day. I rarely went to IMAX back in New York, but since I've been in China, every movie. Exactly. Like, it's super cheap. That's the most important one. And sometimes if you find like a really good time slot, it's just you in the entire cinema, and you have the whole screen for yourself. There's no chewing. There's no people like, throwing popcorn and being loud and all that sort of stuff. It's just you watching like, an amazing film on the big screen. You start in Chongqing when I go back. Yeah, I think every single time when you go to a new city in China, it's a new start if you're a foreigner, in my opinion. All right then, guys. It's been an hour and 50 minutes. Wow. I mean, time flies on this live stream. I think I'm gonna wrap it up right now, and yeah, that is about it for today. I mean, I personally really enjoyed this live stream. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm very happy that, you know, at least 10 people were here constantly and watching this live stream. I'm I'm super surprised, and yeah, I appreciate that you guys tuned in for this stream. I will try to do this more often, at least 2 times a week, and one of them is going to be like this free chat kind of thing where you can just throw topics out and we can talk about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate every single one of you. Obviously, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It's the last minute, so if you want to donate, here is my WeChat, so you can definitely donate whatever amount you want. Or in the description, you're gonna find my PayPal or my Patreon. Feel free to do it. I'm not forcing you to do it, but if you enjoyed the stream and if you want to show, like, you know, support, feel free to do it. Anyway, guys, like I said, that is it for today's live stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, one more thing. Cool, I'm gonna have to try a live stream. Never did it before. Hit me up on WeChat. We can talk about it. I can give you a hand with it. And if you want, you can use my my service on StreamYard, and I can set you up with it. So, Gene, drop me a message whenever you feel ready to do it. All right, then, guys. So that is it for today's live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, even though there's no commenting really, like, but that's my usual outro. So make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next live stream.